I grew up with the concept of there's two families, and not just two
Mm,
families, but two families that hate each other. And I really mean the word hate.
okay.
I learned what true hatred is from my parents'
Wow.
feelings towards each other. And, that's been damaging to me. And I don't think that I'll ever totally exit my psyche is the
Mhm.
knowledge that um, two people that I am a part of
Mhm.
um, hate each other. That means some part of me that is in my mom is hated, and some part of me that is in my dad is hated by some of the most important people to me. This is
That's
stuff that is,
profound that you just said that just gave me chills because I hadn't even oh my gosh, that is such an impactful observation that you had. I never would have even gone to that extreme. I didn't mean to interrupt, but that just really struck me.
well,
Oh my
thank
god.
you. It took me a long time to figure that out, but I would sometimes I would find myself finding an excuse to feel like, oh, that person doesn't like me.
Mm,
And then I'd be like, why? Like, that's not even logical. Sometimes it would be illogical. And I'd be like, why am I like down on myself?
right.
And then I eventually connected it just in some random mental association. Like, when I thought of my dad, I thought of a guy that I saw attacked from my home constantly. And
Mm,
that just felt like attacking me on some level that it's probably not that hard to associate to for anybody that understands what it's like to have parents in great conflict. Anyway, but yeah, thanks for what you said. It took me a long time to figure that out. I sometimes will fantasize about what it would have been like if they would stay together, if they had stayed together. Now, it would have been brutal in probably some of the ways you're describing, although,
yeah.
very different parent situations. I would say just, I don't, again, it's hard for me to know exactly or very
Mhm.
much about the people your parents are, but, you
Yeah,
know,
absolutely. So when your parents split, what was the custody arrangement like? Did they share 50-50 custody or did you spend more time with one parent or the other? And follow-up question to that, when it was just you in with your mom or you with your dad and the other wasn't around, did they speak ill of the other in front of you, or was that something that they tried to keep separate as best as they could?
as to your first question, I saw my dad once every 2 weeks. It's went down to once a month for a while, and I lived with my mom primarily, and there was constant custody battles. Both of them
Mhm.
wanted basically full custody and to cut the other one completely out of our lives.
Wow.
Um, at different times, sometimes my dad seemed more focused on his life and his relationships and kind of chasing women and stuff like that. And other times, it was always clear to me that he loved us very much. I'm the middle of three boys.
Okay.
Um, and yet he had other priorities, and I just don't think he was thinking that hard about it. I think in a way your dad was conscious in a very beneficial way, kind of like I was mentioning before.
Yeah.
I i think I would have done anything to at least hear. I know that mentally I can't be there. In your case it's physically, in mine it was like more mentally,
Mhm.
because he always lived just a few minutes away. But I wish I could. I know that's on me. That's something that would have brought a lot of relief to me to hear, a consciousness of what I needed not being fulfilled, and the fact that, yeah, maybe he can't do it, but at least he could tell me that he feels that, that unfortunate fact. And as for the second, I was with my mom so much more than my dad, but my mom wouldn't even let me refer to my dad. It was not like allowed
No
because she
way.
hated him so much. Yeah, which
Oh,
uh,
wow.
obviously was very damaging, because it was like, oh my god. And I always wondered what it was he did, and I was like, did he like have a completely separate? Did he like get married to someone else at the same time you were living together and deceive?
That's
Like
what
he
I
must
was
have.
gonna ask, like, how
Yeah.
what did you ever find those answers? Did you ever get any indication of how these 2 people just came to get to this point? I mean
Yeah. Um, Not a very simple and satisfying one. I think I have an idea of it, but there wasn't infidelity, but there may as well have been. I think of infidelity as a result of not having your needs met and not being able to
Mhm.
talk about it. more so
Right.
than a bad thing that then causes people to be separate. You are separate before before the idea comes into your mind. In my
Mm,
opinion, that's
okay.
been my thoughts about it. But there may as well have been because they obviously weren't able to fulfill what they needed from each other, and I think it had something to do with that they both needed us in the same way that you said that you were needed so much by your mom.
Mhm.
They both really needed us to be there and make them feel better in many ways and kind of give more meaning to their lives.
Yeah.
And both of them would use us in different ways, not intentionally. Neither one of them ever had bad intentions. I don't blame them for that, but it doesn't mean that I don't, haven't over the years felt a lot of the pain of it. It doesn't matter if they meant it or not. I think it was always about like you're getting in the way of what I really need. And I think that
Mm,
reminded them of anger that they probably have for their parents or something that is like long ago, and somehow they use each other as a vehicle for that anger. That's my best guess because there certainly is no clear explanation.